Welcome everyone to this Google Hangout. I'm Lauren Marie, and this is Hangout on, it's called Can You Really Live Without Judging? And we have a beautiful panel here, and I'd like to welcome Marilyn Bradford, the amazing Right Recovery founder. Hello, Marilyn.
Hi, Lauren.
And we also have Amanda from Australia, and Za in Australia.
Hey.
And we have Melanie and Paul in Ireland.
Hi. Hey guys, how you doing?
Awesome. And welcome everyone that's joining us live. If you'd like to type in your questions, you just hit the Q&A box and type them in, and I'll read them to Marilyn as we go. So our topic today is about ending judgment. This is a hangout to launch a 14-day boot camp with Marilyn, and which I'm really excited about because we've never done it like this, Marilyn, where we have actually 14 days to focus on and defeat judgment. So
yeah, because it really the momentum builds when you have day after day, and every day people will get something. We'll have a couple of calls, we'll have some videos, we have sound clips, you'll get emails, so that there's no chance to sort of go back into the judgment and then have to start almost from ground zero again. So I love the way we're doing this. I think it's going to be amazing, the freedom that we can all create together. And that's it. It's a create together.
Awesome. So this actually will be a chance for you guys on our panel to clear some stuff around judgment that you'd like to change in your life. So I thought this would be a great way to show people how Access works, the tools of Access consciousness, how you can actually bring up an issue and clear it, you know, like magic, in a matter of minutes. So are you guys up for a little bit of play and some facilitation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, Marilyn, I told you before we got started that I'd really like to talk about judgment and parenting and being a mother. Sure, I'm not the only one on the planet who, once becoming a parent, has started to notice a tremendous amount of judgment, both being projected at me, you know, what's right to do, what's wrong to do, you should do this, you shouldn't do that, why are you doing this? But also the amount of self-judgment that comes up when, you know, you see your kid crying and you can't figure out what to do, or, you know, just yesterday it was like, I have twins and they're 2 months old, and it's like they just wanted to cry all day, and I could not figure it out. I tried everything I could think of. You know, I'm breastfeeding, and it's like, it's stressful because it's like, they're hungry again. Like I can't possibly like produce enough milk to, you know, feed my children, which like then I start judging me for not being able to take care of my kids. So yeah, so that's what I would like to do today.
I think that's pretty universal. Can I ask you some questions, Lauren?
Yes, please.
Did you have a judgment that you needed to end the kids crying?
Yeah.
Okay, so everything that is, would you destroy it and create it times a godzillion?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POD, only choice, boys and beyonds. Obviously, kids cry, babies cry. A mother, a father's going to be, you know, what's going on? What's going on, or what can we change here, is a question, but what most of us go to is, there's something wrong and I need to fix it.
Yeah.
So everything that is, can we destroy it and create it times a godzillion?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POD, online shorts, boys and beyonds. Another thing when I was looking at this is the idea that there is a perfect or right way to be a mom or dad. Like if I were being a good mom or dad, I would be able to stop this crying, or I would be able to do this, or I should. So everywhere you have any ideas about what being a good mom or dad is and what that means, would you be willing to destroy and create that times a godzillion?
Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POD, only choice, boys and beyonds. Another thing that came up for me is the whole idea of perfectionism. So if think about flowers, right? I just want you all to think about flowers. what a beautiful flower is. How long do they last?
Days.
A few days. Okay. Have you ever, the only perfect flower is a plastic flower because it never changes and gets brown and molts and all of that. The whole idea of perfectionism is the idea of death. The only perfect things are those things which are dead. So everything that brings up on that cheery note, can we destroy and create that toxic zillion?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Because perfection always involves a judgment. And a lot of parents desire to be the perfect parent. But that's a judgment of what that is. And what it does is it destroys the capacity, your capacity to be present with each other and with your kids and ask questions. Does that make sense?
It does. It does, yeah. I definitely have that, like, if it was a good day, if I made it through and nobody got hurt or, you know, cried too long or ended up too hungry, and it's like, whew, like each day is like, you know, yeah.
Each day, you don't have a to-do list, you have a, it'll be okay if. Are you willing to throw your lists out the window?
Yeah.
Thank you. Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POD, online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Because once again, lists take us away from being present. And we have this idea that if, like a child cries, or if they fall down, and I'm not talking about a serious fall, but a fall, that there's something wrong. Or if they don't eat, there's something wrong. So everywhere you have imposed a set of standards on yourself and your children, would you be willing to destroy and create that times a godzillion?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POD, online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. This is something that a lot of us do, and we have conclusions and decisions and judgments about how something should look, but it doesn't really give us the space to be aware. And I'm so glad you mentioned not just the judgments you have of yourself, but the judgments that are coming at you. Because one of the things that ending judgment does, if you're truly not judging yourself, none of the judgments that are projected at you can actually stick to you. It's our self-judgments, and I say more about that in the 3 tips to the advantages of ending judgment, but it's our self-judgments that actually allow the judgments of others, and boy, moms get a lot projected onto them, to actually stick. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I noticed that because I will have people, you know, like if we're out and about, say something weird, you know, and it's not it doesn't stick because I don't actually have that judgment of myself, but then there are things that I'll hear and it kind of goes, and I'll go, oh, you know, and I know it's like, it's hitting that spot where I already have that, like, oh, I should be doing this better, or I shouldn't be, you know, doing that, and it's like if someone says that, that definitely are the ones that kind of get me.
Yeah. So just being aware of that can make a tremendous change for you. Absolutely. And one more thing about moms. When I was studying psychotherapy, there's a theorist, I don't think he's alive now, he's English, named Winnicott. But Winnicott came up with this idea of the good enough mother, and I just loved it. I use it all the time. The good enough employee, employer, the good enough book, the good enough this or that, because it can get you out of perfectionism, which is a real trap. And what he was saying was, what kids truly need is a good enough mother, not a perfect mother. Because one of the things they learn from that is that life has ups and downs, and that's okay. They can survive it all. Nothing truly bad is going to happen if mom is in a bad mood one day, if dad, you know, forgets to do the perfect rocking the other day, or whatever it is. They learn that they can thrive and be happy even if everything doesn't go according to this absolutely right schedule where every need gets met every second. So anyway, everything that brings up, can we destroy and uncreate it times a godzillion?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POD, online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. I mean, I do that, the good enough workout, the good enough diet, the good enough, you know, you don't have to be strict about anything. You just have to say, well, this is good enough. Yeah, okay, stuff's rocking along. We're making progress here. That's all that really counts.
I really like that, Marilyn, because it actually just opened something up where you can, well, where I started to see what's right about, you know, the failures or the imperfections or the, you know,
Right,
the
right.
things that don't go according to plan, and how that could actually show them, yeah, like that life doesn't have to be perfect, and even if things don't feel good for 5 minutes, like I got through it, you know, and it's okay.
Yes. Yes, and you're also modeling for them. I mean, sometimes parents forget that they're a model for their kids. You're modeling for them that they don't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
They don't have to be the perfect good little girl or the good little boy. They don't have to get an A on everything. They don't have to win every baseball game. They can still be okay. You know, so it's actually a great modeling for kids about life and about not having to expect them to be perfect all the time.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Does anyone else have a question or something they'd like to look at?
Can I ask about the mom thing as well? For me, it's about being a single mother, and from the moment I had my son, I just did it. It was fine. It's this thing where people project onto me, you know, good on you. It must have been tough, or even when I was with his father, was you're so lucky to have him, but people didn't really know what was going on in the background. You know, these kind of judgments, or whatever. And I just find out that my son he's now a teenager and things are changing, and there's something around me also being the father as well as the mother, if you get what I'm saying.
You mean being both parents because you're a single parent?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the judgment? Is there a judgment that you're having of yourself?
Well, I thought I was doing okay, but clearly when I hear people say it, it kind of bugs me that they say it. So I'm wondering, is there something in there? I kind of like, I suppose I'd be a bit happy-go-lucky. I could go along and I cope with whatever needs to come up, kind of thing. But there's just something, there's an undercurrent to something I can't put my finger on, because if I'm paying attention to their judgments, I must be buying it on some level.
Right. So here's the thing. We're taught to judge. We're taught that judgment is the way we know what's right and wrong and if we're doing okay. You know, we're taught that you bring home an art piece or a report card and you wait for mom and dad and see what they say. So everywhere you've been trained to the training that judgment is relevant to your life in any way, would you destroy it and create that times a godzillion?
Yeah.
Thank you. Right, wrong, good, bad, but that really gets to the core of it. Is this, underneath that is this belief system that judgment has value and is relevant. It's actually one of the most destructive things there is, but we're so taught to make it relevant that it can be kind of hard to get out of it. You know, and that, exactly. So thank you.
The thing I wanted to ask you is this thing where, like, if you have no judgment, like, this sounds ridiculous, what do you have? It's this really
have
weird
awareness. If you have no judgment, then you have the capacity to be aware of a situation. If you have judgment, you absolutely cannot be aware. So suppose all of these people are projecting onto you and projecting onto your son, and you're believing something like nobody, you know, no kid from a single parent family can actually do well and all that, and you let go of all of that, and you become aware of your son, and you can just ask, how well is he functioning? Does he need some kind of male in his life? Yes, no, not at the moment. Okay, not today. You know, what's going on with him? And then you can actually be present to what is, and that's what I love about letting go of judgment, is that you can be present with what is, and you can be aware, and you're not taking everybody else's opinions. So that's what you get when you let go of judgment, is awareness.
Yeah, it's like a whole new world, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I say one thing before we go off of parenting? The other one that I notice a lot is this regret. Like, it's like this implant of regret. Like, oh, you should really appreciate it now, because before it all disappears, like, enjoy that time while they're young and screaming and pooping and peeing all over you and puking, because it won't last forever. And it's like this like undertone of like, you should do this or you'll regret it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Well, one thing, let's just look at it won't last forever thing. One of the reasons people have the regret that they're not still back there with their child when they were 6 months old or 3 months old or whatever is that they were not actually present with the child at that time. They were like doing other things, like looking at everybody else's judgments and reading all the parenting books and disallowing what they knew to be true because the book says this. Most people do not know how to be present. And that's one of the things that I think is really awesome about, as we get rid of the judgment, we actually increase our capacity to be present in life. And when you're truly present with someone or something, then you have no regrets when things move on. It's only when you're sort of half there and you go, oh, what did I miss? But when you're present, you don't miss anything. So it's kind of next. I'm satiated with that moment. I totally got that moment. So what's next? And you don't have to have those regrets. A lot of regrets come from people.
It doesn't feel true to me. Like, I'm so grateful for, even the times when it's really hard, and it doesn't, I'm like, am I going to regret not, I don't know, it felt funny, when I hear that like I should be doing something different because I'll regret it,
What? Well, here's what I would say with you, Lauren, because I know a little bit about your pregnancy, and you were so excited and doing all of these things that were, good for you and your body and asking questions, and one day we were talking, and you were talking about the other women in this, I guess it's the birthing group or the breathing group. You said, it's so weird, Marilyn. All they're interested in is when they're going to get their drugs. Yeah. I was like, because you knew at that point that you were different, and you were doing it different. And what I would say to every parent is just acknowledge you are doing it different, and it doesn't matter what everybody else is doing or saying, because you're tuned in a way that they're not. So it's that honoring what you know, absolutely. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Yet again, just a reminder, like, yeah, I'm weird, I'm different. Okay, cool.
Yeah, okay, cool. Different is good, weird is good.
Awesome.
Okay, does anyone else have a question or something, some kind of sense of judgment or wrongness they'd like a little insight into?
Well, yes, Marilyn, I did. I don't know what's going on with my screen. It's not sharing. So I'm just going to be in the corner here. Hello. Oh, you can see me? Okay, it must just be my screen. Yay! I'm on TV. So what I wanted to ask about was just that thing of waking up in the morning and feeling wrong and looking for what's wrong. And I mean, I've had the access tools for quite a few years now, and in the last few days, it's been waking up in the morning going, there's just something sitting there that just feels wrong, and I'm like, okay. It's a real struggle not to just try and sit there trying to figure out what's wrong so I can deal with it all the time. Like, that seems to be like a pattern and a habit. Like, what's wrong? I've got to deal with it before I can get out of bed and get on with my day.
Yes.
So what's different choice that I
My first question is, and I had to learn this one too because I used to do exactly that same thing. Who does it belong to?
Yeah.
Exactly. And it always lightens up. It always lightens up.
Yeah. Because when we're asleep, when our bodies are asleep, I can't say why, but we tend to collect all this, I'm going to say it like it is, crap from the universe, from other people. How many people wake up with a sense of wrongness? More than a godzillion? Or, yeah.
Yeah, like everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, interesting point of view. I'm picking up everybody's sense of wrongness. What else is possible here? I mean, to me, I just go back to the basics. Wow, interesting point of view. I'm picking up that everybody else is judging themselves, particularly on a Sunday night or, well, a Monday morning. People tend to do that. And then I'll ask other questions like, what energy, space, and consciousness can I be that it would allow me to perceive, know, be, and receive the truth of who I truly be right here, right now, for all eternity? And that kind of question will tend to shift it. But you know how it is, it's so easy for us, whether it's early in the morning or whether we're out at the mall or wherever it is, to pick up everybody else's sense of wrongness. And I'm so glad you brought that up, because wrong judgment is pervasive in this reality. And until we really get that, it's so easy to assume that anytime we have a judgment or a sense of wrongness that it's ours. And it's not, pretty much. It's just that it's everywhere. It's at Starbucks. It's at the grocery store. It's at the gym where everybody's comparing their bodies. It's at the hairdressers. It's at the office where everyone's going, oh my gosh, she's getting a raise and I'm not getting a raise. What am I doing wrong? Everywhere we go. So it's once again bringing that awareness of what's going on and just how pervasive judgment is. And it's pretty much not yours. And if it's yours, we can change it. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I wanted to take just a minute out here, because one of the things I want to talk about that a lot of people don't realize is that it's not just becoming aware of, oh, I'm judging myself, say in the morning, or I'm judging myself as a mom. That's one area of when we're really aware of how we are judging ourselves or taking on the judgments of others. But I made a list, and I may have to put my glasses on for this, maybe not, we'll see, of some of the behaviors that I've noticed in clients over years that they're sort of keys for me to know that that person is in judgment and that they're basically judging themselves as wrong. So here are some of these behaviors. One is trying to prove anything. And along with that goes trying to convince others of anything. If you find yourself trying to prove or trying to convince others, you can be sure you're in judgment and you're going to some kind of wrongness. Desiring validation is another indication that you're going into some kind of wrongness of you and judgment. Apologizing. You don't really ever need to apologize. I mean, if you actually do step on somebody's foot, you might say, sorry, I stepped on your foot. But that's very different from, oh, I'm really sorry I did that, or I got that wrong. Or, some of us even go to, it's raining outside, we go, I'm really sorry it's raining. Like you could control that. So you want to see if you're spending any of your life apologizing, because if you're doing that, you're most likely in judgment. Avoiding anything. I don't want to make that phone call. Okay, if you're avoiding something, ask yourself, what's going on here? Because if you're avoiding it, you have a judgment that somehow that's going to negatively impact you, which is putting you down in the 49% position. And, we're all about the 50-50, and we're all about, catching up to your possibilities, not having you be less than. Making yourself the effect of someone or something. Whether it's an expert or whether it's your mother-in-law, doesn't matter. If you're making yourself the effect of someone or something, then you're being caught up in judgment and the lessness of you. Procrastinating and any kind of resignation. Oh, it's just the way things are. I can't help it. I can't do anything. So I just wanted to bring up some of those behaviors because it's just hopefully a helpful tip on allowing you to see where you are falling into judgment and falling into some kind of less than. So I just wanted to inject that in there before we moved on.
I love that list, Marilyn, because I think that you don't really think about. And also another one popped into my head. If you're not having fun, you're probably judging.
If you're not having fun and you're very serious and making things significant, you're judging. You're smack dab in the middle of judgment. And that's going to have a huge impact on your life.
So, Paul, do you have anything?
Yeah, just, God, thank you for that list, Marilyn. I think I ticked every box there, which is excellent. So something that keeps coming up for me is I want to give up smoking. So it's not something I want to do anymore. And I keep doing this backward-forward thing with myself where, you know, I'm doing my best not to judge myself for when I do want to smoke and trying to make it, you know, okay for me. But then I know what I'm like. I know I don't want to smoke, so then I judge that too. So there's like positive and negative judgments going around all the place. Yeah, I'm just finding it really tough to get to an even space with it.
Okay, so,
Yes.
Truth, do you desire to quit smoking right now?
No.
Okay, thank you. One of the things that creates the most judgment is when we think we ought to desire something, or we actually desire it in the future. We know there's a time we're going to quit, or we know we should, or something, but it's in conflict with what's going on for us right now. So everything that doesn't allow you to just receive that right now you don't desire to quit, but you're going to keep the question open, 10 seconds at a time, maybe tomorrow you will, would you destroy and create that times a godzillion?
Yes.
Thank you. Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, PUD, all in shorts, boys and beyonds. What if there was actually nothing wrong with smoking? And I know smokers, almost more than anything, at least in America, it's a little bit different I know in Europe and I think in Australia. But in America, oh my gosh, that's like the biggest no-no is to smoke cigarettes. Even though everybody's voting for smoking pot, same people are like, smoking is terrible. So everywhere we're buying, everybody's judgments on that. Can we destroy it and create it times a godzillion?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, PUD, all in shorts, boys and beyonds. And the other thing that I would say is just to heighten your awareness of what's going on is every time you do smoke with awareness. Take a puff. I'm an ex-smoker. Go, how does that feel? Do I like it? Do I desire another puff? Without judgment, but just a lot of times we use what's called addictive behaviors as a sort of a way of not being present. So you can ask, as you're smoking, as you're having a drink, as you're spending money, or whatever it is for you, you know, what's this creating? Am I enjoying it? Yeah, I am. Well, never mind. I'm not going to worry about it. You know. Does that help?
Yes, and I still go into that whole, well, I should be able to do this. You know, like judging myself like I should be able to do this. It's not that hard. It's just a choice kind of scenario.
Well, if it's not something you desire, then it's not much of a choice. It's very difficult to go against what we desire. I was listening to, I don't even know what it was. I think it was a 7-day at Costa Rica, maybe New Zealand last night. And someone was asking Gary if he believed in fasting. And he said, I can't do deprivation because as soon as I try to deprive myself of anything, all I do is want it, and I have to have it. So anytime we're trying to do deprivation, it really doesn't work. As soon as you truly desire to stop, you'll stop. You will. You just will. That's what happened to me. One day it was like, oh, I don't want to smoke anymore. But it was a me knowing that I didn't desire to smoke anymore, and it wasn't about all the judgments in America or anything else, and that was it. It was easy. So if it's not easy, it's probably not the right time or the right thing. Does that resonate?
Yeah, when you were talking before when you said, you know, it's like perhaps a choice from in the future, like I know at some point I won't smoke, and it's like I want that point now. I know it's
humanoid.
I know, right?
Right.
I think, yeah, so that kind of made sense what you said about that and not being an allowance of my choice now to just choose to smoke, really.
Just choose to smoke, and just enjoy it. As long as you're choosing to do it, enjoy it, because that's the other thing. If you're not allowing yourself to enjoy it, it's probably going to prolong the time you're going to keep judging yourself and keep smoking.
Yes.
So thoroughly enjoy it. Have fun with smoking.
I'll do my best.
All right. Awesome. Awesome, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Marilyn,
Yes, Paul.
how we doing?
We're doing good. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Great to hang out with you. Marilyn, one thing that's coming up for me is I've kind of got a conflictual reality in terms of judging myself for not getting enough done and not allowing my body to rest. And it's kind of, those two are often playing out for me. I always want to try and get more done. And like I've quite a productive life and quite a busy life, but it's always trying to, those two often play out and not allowing myself to rest.
So who decides what enough done is?
Besides, I do, I guess.
Okay. So have you created a standard that's actually impossible to achieve?
Yeah.
How many of us create standards that are impossible to achieve as if that's actually going to create more? Everything that is can we destroy and uncreate it times a godzillion.
Yes, 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 yes.
Thank you. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Because you're starting each day with a judgment of, and it seems like it's that no matter what you do, it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that what you use to motivate yourself?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, what if you turn that upside down and said, if I do anything at all today, it's going to be plenty?
A little bit of resistance there, Marla. A little bit of resistance.
I noticed. I would like you to really work with that one. If I do anything today, it's going to be plenty. Because I am so amazing. I'm such an incredible being. Just by being Paul and being in the world, I'm changing things. You know that little book, Be You, Change the World?
Yeah, I heard about it, yeah.
Heard about it maybe at one point. Yeah. And I would really encourage you to be looking at your relationship with your body and honoring your body.
Yeah.
You know, what if you put your body first?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, what would that do?
Yeah.
Well, how does it get any better than that?
Yeah, magic, Marilyn, magic, yeah.
Can I ask Marilyn about understanding? Is that a judgment? Trying to understand?
Well, understanding, yes, it is a judgment. And it's also an answer. It's not a question. If I can understand it, I'll be okay. I was working with a client today, and we decided what we really wanted to do was to come up with a switch so that you could turn your brain off.
Yeah.
That's what we all do. You know, and she was going into, well, what does this mean? And how does this fit into how we're working? And this and that. And I'm like, turn it off.
Because it was like that when you said to Paul about being you. It sounds too simple.
I know, it does. But actually, that's it. It is actually pretty simple. It's just counterintuitive or different from everything that we're taught. It seems so simple, but actually what we're all doing, you know, is turning the world upside down. 180 degrees. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. This reality works on judgment in every area, relationships, job, health, well-being, and yet that is one of the most destructive things that we can engage in. So that's really why I'm doing this series, because I would love for all of us to have that freedom from judgment and see, you know, where our particular are that we can just get rid of and have that freedom, that total freedom.
Sorry, Marilyn, when Paul was talking about, you know, not being able to do enough, and I think you said something about it's okay, like for whatever it is that you do, I actually went into, could I possibly be just okay with that?
Yeah. Could you?
No.
It's okay, Sam. Me too. Me too.
Well, I think that's a pretty normal response. But what would it be like if you actually could be okay with you just being? And this is one of the things I've gotten from using the 10-second increments tool. It's like, okay, can I be okay with myself for 10 seconds? Okay, that 10 seconds is up. Can I be okay with myself now for 10 seconds? Okay, that 10 seconds is up. Now what would I like to choose? You know, it's this switch from doing as the measure of who we are and whether we're good enough, which is all judgment, which is all this reality, to being and knowing that we be awesome just the way we be. And that really, you be you, you're an inspiration that changes the world. When we're focusing on we have to do, then we're not really being an inspiration. It's once again, we're kind of back to proving that we deserve to live, that we're okay, that we're doing what we should be doing, you know, as a woman, as a man, whatever it is. And it's that very proving that keeps us in that cycle of judgment. So does that read for people?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to prove to myself that I'm good enough.
Yeah. What if you didn't have? Yeah. What if you didn't have to prove, Za? What if you just knew? That was awesome. The thing about ending the judgment and knowing how awesome you are is then the doing that comes out of the being is much easier than when we're trying to do to prove that our being is okay. It's once again, it's turning the whole paradigm upside down.
Yeah, and I've had those moments, and you know they keep happening, and yet I still don't believe it. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're working at it. You're working towards it, and some of this is developing the muscle because this stuff is so ingrained in us. You know, you have to prove who you are by what you do. Not let's acknowledge you for the great being you are, and when you get a sense of yourself and the space and the greatness, then the doing that comes out of that is absolutely amazing. So, cool. Well, I'm wondering if we lost Lauren.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, she got kicked off and hasn't been able to get back on. So.
Okay, well, I guess I'll just say a little bit. We're starting this 14-day boot camp on the 17th that is all about this ending the judgment, ending the primary addiction, stepping out of judgment, looking at all the possibilities that you can create. What amazing life, how much more freedom and energy will you have when you're actually that being and you're looking at just, well, now what would I like to choose? And you don't have to run it through the filter of judgment. So as we mentioned earlier, one of the cool things about the boot camp is it's 14 days, starts on the 17th. You'll get emails. We have a couple of telecalls. We have some other kinds of things that are coming on. And you can find out more about it at Right Recovery for You, and that's FORU.com/bootcamp. So I hope you will all be joining us on this boot camp that starts the 17th. So thank you all, and thank you all who came on it, really. Amanda and Zod, Melinda and Paul, and Lauren, we'll see her again, I'm sure. I really appreciate your questions. And I look forward to talking with you soon. Thank you. I'll see if I know how to do this. Okay.